And here we go again. It is still week 23. If you guys listened to, I guess, yesterday's episode, our North American episode, we told you that we struggled to start the recording because we were laughing too much. And quite frankly,
We did it again.
we did it again. We did it again. So here's your good morning, your good afternoon, and your good evening. And we are going to start this episode the way we were supposed to end last episode with soccer.
Yes. The FIFA World Cup is starting this Thursday, which actually is the day that this episode dropped. Now, the first game will have already been done by the time our episode drops due to the fact that it starts at 1 p.m. and our episodes drop at 5. But it is what it is. I am still here to tell you when the games are played and when they are set. So I am just going to go over Thursday because we did go last week over kind of the whole week. So I'm going to go from Thursday to Tuesday or Thursday through Monday. And we'll go from there. So Thursday, Mexico will play South Africa at 1, which is going to be a very interesting game. And then, Chris, again, the confusion. Korea versus Czechia right after.
Yeah. Okay. I am going to, fourth wall break here a little bit just to our discussion we had earlier today about the teams that are in and out of this World Cup surprised me when we started thinking about it.
We'll get to that a little bit more because it's worse than you think. So, hey, Canada is playing at 1 on Friday against BIH, which I'm not going to lie, I suck at pronouncing big countries, so I'm just going to stick with their first name, Bosnia.
Yep. Oh, Bosnia like Hernan Gomez or something?
Herzegovina?
Sure, Bosnia it is.
So Canada versus Bosnia at 1, and then U.S. versus Paraguay at 7 on Friday.
I have never cheered for Paraguay harder than I will.
We need to find a way to watch these games because Friday at 7, I have nothing. Do you have anything this Friday?
We'll see.
We'll see how she goes.
And
then Saturday, we go to 4 games, finally. We get Qatar versus Switzerland at 1, which I honestly feel is going to be a good game. Brazil versus Morocco at 4. Haiti versus the Scots. And then Australia versus Turkey. And those are at 4, 7, and 10.
Okay.
On Sunday, you got Germany versus... Again, not really good with names, so please do not kill me if I say what? Curacao? Curacao? Yeah.
Yeah, Curacao.
Again, this is why I have Chris on board. He's a lot better than I am at pronouncing countries.
Yeah, throwback to Jay's diversity hire joke from months ago.
Yeah.
I'm the semi-diversity hire, if you want to.
Then you got the Netherlands versus Japan at 2.
Go Neds.
Ivory Coast, I was wrong last week, is not Irish. It's in Africa.
Yes.
I kept trying to be like Irish and saying the Irish every time we were talking about them. Boy, was I wrong. The colors are inverted on that one. So he'll probably laugh about this till 2 a.m. The Ivory Coast is against Colombia. No, yes, I think so.
You've got the countries in front of you.
Ecuador, sorry. I'm so horrible with countries, okay? Give me a break. I know this one. Tanzania versus Sweden at 8. That one... isn't Holland Swedish?
Yes, Erland Holland. What? Well, hold on.
Or is it Norwegian?
You keep going. I'll fact check for you.
And then Monday you have 4 games. You have Spain that plays at 10 a.m. versus Cape Verde. Then you have Belgium that plays Egypt at 1. You have Saudi Arabia that plays Uruguay at 4 p.m. and Iran that play New Zealand at 7.
Erling Haaland is Norwegian, not Swedish.
Okay. Well, talking about Norwedish. I am.
Norwedish?
Oh, I'm on a roll.
You are prime.
I am going to mention 2 of Tuesday's games because they will be done by the time that we are recording. France will be playing Senegal at
that's
1.
Gonna be a murder.
And Iraq will be playing Norway at 4.
Yeah.
Now, with these games and Miggy's butchering skills.
Butchering. You're butchering of butchering?
Yeah, that was kind of painful even to hear from me. Here are some teams that, and by teams I mean countries, obviously, that didn't make it. And then when me and Chris kind of looked into this, we're kind of shocked. And I will keep the 2 that shocked you the most for last. So, Slovenia. They're a 50-50. They've always, but like recently they've been a little stronger. And a lot of people thought they'd make it, but they didn't make it past the UEFA qualifying groups. Hungary missed out on a tough group as well, and they just didn't have good playoff results. Poland got eliminated during the UEFA playoffs by Sweden. So Poland got eliminated because Sweden.
Yeah.
Tough break, but it's Sweden at the same time.
That's how it happens.
Now, Nigeria missed out on their second consecutive tournament after failing in the CAF playoffs. Now, here are the 2 that you were like, what?
Yeah, these are the big ones that I was shocked to hear.
Cameroon failed to go through the gauntlet of African qualifying. I told you this, and you were like, there's no way. I had to pull up the pools to show you.
Well, that's the thing. Like, Cameroon is an African soccer powerhouse. They have been for years. So to hear that they just aren't even in, like, they aren't in the World Cup was baffling to me. It really was.
And for the 3rd consecutive World Cup, after a shocking playoff loss to Bosnia, so technically speaking, Canada would be playing this team, is Italy.
Italy has not been in a World Cup in 16 years. Something about saying that out loud feels incredibly wrong. Like when you think soccer, you think Italy. You think about the freaking the boot shape, right, on the map. And to not only hear that they didn't make it this year, but that they also haven't been to the last, like, including this year, the last 3 is mind-boggling. The last time they were in a World Cup was 2010.
Yeah. So here are some players that aren't getting there, that aren't there not because they don't have the talent, but because their countries didn't qualify. So Robert Lewandowski, which is a legend in his own generation, is unable to participate because Poland didn't. And he's up there with Modric, Messi, and Ronaldo. He put up the numbers. He has the reputation, and I think he's 37 years old. So this was his last chance, unless he wants to try to push it and try it at 41. But 37, you're getting on the old side for sports here. Victor Osimhen from Nigeria. He's widely regarded as one of the world's best strikers. And I say one of. I'm not saying the.
Well, there's a lot of really good strikers.
Exactly. But he's considered one of the best, and kind of unfortunate when you have the World Cup that one of the best is left on the sidelines. But at the same time, it all has to do with your country qualifying. Now, Gianluigi Donnarumma from Italy is a renowned goalkeeper. And he will be missing the biggest stage again because Italy got knocked out because of Bosnia. Which saying this out loud doesn't make sense to me either.
It feels wrong. It really does.
Now, Jan Oblak from Slovenia is their captain and their star goalkeeper. So another big goalkeeper that's getting pushed to the sideline on the biggest stage. And not only that, here's the problem that I have with Italy and Nigeria and Cameroon not making it. This is the World Cup that's had the most countries in it. It's the biggest.
The most chance, the most opportunity to make it, and these countries still aren't there.
Yeah. Now, as I said earlier, I suck at saying countries' names. I'm no different at players' names.
You're just not great with the words.
Dominic Slobaslia.
I mean, there's no L at the beginning, so it's not slow, but I think it's Shobashnia.
Slobaslia.
You know what? It's from Hungary. I have no idea how to say that.
He'll be hungry for the next World Cup because he's set on the sideline and he is known as the playmaker for the Hungarian national team. He's the one that creates the play, the ones that the play flows through, and the ones that makes it so that they have those opportunities. Now, there is kind of I'm not usually big on this, but there's a controversial
kind of decision, roster choice, I suppose.
So, Thomas Tuchel is the coach for the England national team. Cole Palmer is a very talented kid. He is 18, 19 years old, even maybe 20, but he has shown that he has the skill. Now, Thomas Tuchel has said that he wants more experience, and he is looking for a team that is experienced and has a lot of leadership. In my opinions, to have a lot of leadership, you need people to leadership.
You need people to lead.
Yeah. There are reports that Cole Palmer might have been snubbed from being on the roster because the coach didn't like his personality.
I can understand if there's actual tension.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's been a lot going on in the sports world about sort of players and coaches and whatnot bringing, toxic environments or whatnot like that. But if it's just I don't like your personality thing, that's very childish.
Mm-hmm. It is. So we'll have to see. Now, honestly, we're a big Canadian supporters in this FIFA World Cup. Now, I know due to your favoritism, you're also going to be supporting your South Africans.
You are the last person I need to hear about bias from. But go on. Go on.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I will be supporting South Africa in this World Cup. South Africa is my roots. My parents are South Africans, so I have reason to.
I will also be supporting France. So,
good old French Canadian over there.
No, just 5 generations ago came from France. So,
yeah, close enough.
Yeah, I got the book with all the tree.
Oh, the good old family tree book. Yeah, I got one of those somewhere too.
So with that though, first will be Canada. If Canada gets knocked out, then it's gonna be France. If France gets knocked out, I'll go with South Africa.
Yeah. I have hope for Canada, and Canada's not a soccer country, so we'll see how far they go. But Miggy's giving me lover's eyes. I don't know what's going on, so I think he's got something to say.
Introducing The Corner.
Brought to you by
Chris.
We have lovingly dubbed our lovely rugby time as The Corner. Not the cubicle, not the room. No matter how big this rugby corner gets, it will forever be known as The Corner. And The Corner is going to start with the Super Rugby Pacific League. We have had our qualifying round games. This to remind those at home, this was the league where the top 6 moved on. We had 3 kind of quarterfinals, quote unquote, games. 3 winners move on, and the quote unquote best loser moves on. So the highest seeded loser. So we had our 3 games. We had the Hurricanes against the Brumbies. This was not a close game. The Hurricanes win 66-12.
What?
66-12. This was a 54-point win.
Damn.
We had the Crusaders against the Blues. This also wasn't close, but closer. This was a 52-31 victory for the Crusaders.
Yikes.
And then the Chiefs played the Reds. Chiefs win that 46-21.
Okay.
These qualifying round games were not close. The smallest margin of victory was 21 points. So the Hurricanes, the Crusaders, and Chiefs all win their qualifying games. They move on to the semis. And then the highest seeded loser from these 3 games was the Blues, which, funny enough, are the loser that lost by the fewest amount of points.
So they proceed.
They proceed. They move on. We will have our proper semifinals games on June 12th. The matchups are the Chiefs against the Crusaders and the Hurricanes against the Blues. The Hurricanes against the Blues game, I think, could be an email. I'll be honest. I'm pretty sure the Hurricanes just walk over the Blues.
It'd be kind of funny if the Blues wins this one.
If the Blues wins this, then we can sing them the blues as they move on to the finals. I don't care. The Hurricanes, however, are likely going to rock their you-know-what. The Chiefs versus Crusaders, that's an interesting matchup. That could go either way. Those are the Crusaders, the Chiefs, they won their game, so obviously they're on, but they were also the higher seed in their qualifying games.
Okay.
So we'll see how that goes. So Rugby Super Pacific is on to its second last week.
Okay.
Top 14. We had our last week of the regular season. We had some pretty important games standings-wise.
Oh, yeah. We went over these possibilities last week like crazy.
So we had our 7 games. I'll go over the 3 games that didn't really matter. We had Bayonne against Perpignan. Bayonne won 52-7. It showed that this game meant nothing. We had Castres against Toulon. Castres wins 38-21. And then we had Pau against US Montauban. Pau won 71-35. I personally have never seen a rugby score, sort of like total points, nearing 100 until this.
106.
Yeah.
That's not nearing 100.
That's not nearing 100. 106 points is baffling. Now, the 4 games that actually had playoff implications were, for the most part, very close. We had Lyon against Montpellier. Montpellier wins this 28-25. This game was important because Montpellier was fighting to secure the 2nd seed.
Yep.
We had Racing 92 against Toulouse. Racing 92 actually wins this 31-20. And the reason I say actually wins this is because Toulouse is 1st seed.
Maybe they rested some of their players.
Potentially. Racing 92 was looking for this win because they wanted to guarantee a top 6 finish. Or rather, they wanted to push for top 4. It's only the top 4 that move on. Racing 92 was pushing for a top 4 finish. Now, I guess I should go back on my words here. The team that was in 4th place that they were trying to get ahead of was actually Pau. So, and Pau won that game that was 106 points total. So I guess that game did actually have some implications. I just didn't expect it to. We had Bordeaux against Clermont. Clermont wins this 34-31. This was important as these 2 teams sat between 6th and 8th last week, and they were fighting to see if they could push into that top 4. Now, with how the other games ended, this game didn't really mean much in the end. Clermont and Bordeaux finished 7th and 8th respectively.
I think this one is the top 6 because you said that last week it was the 1 and 2 had to bye.
Oh, yes, you are correct. You're messing up your words. I'm messing up my stats. So it is the top 6. It is the 1 and 2 seed that gets a bye.
Cue the title. The boys be messing up.
The boys do be messing up. So I guess go back. Racing 92 wanted to win their game to secure a top 6 finish. Clermont Bordeaux were trying to sneak into that top 6. And possibly the game of the week, and possibly the game of this coming week, and you find out why. Stade Rochelet beats Stade Francais 27-22.
Stad won.
Stade won. So Stade Francais was hoping to win this to try and steal second place from Montpellier. Now, since Montpellier won, it didn't matter anyways. Or actually, it's good that Montpellier won because Stade Francais did get the bonus point. So had Stade Francais won this and gotten the extra 4 points, they would have taken second from Montpellier. Stade Rochelet really wanted to win this because their win secured them 6th. Because the final seeding points, Stade Rochelet finished with 72 points for 6th place. Clermont in 7th had 71, and Bordeaux in 8th had 70.
That's a tight
It was
playoff
close.
push.
Racing 92 finished 5th with 74 points. Pau finished 4th with 78 points. Stade Francais finished 3rd with 79 points. Montpellier finished 2nd with 82 points. And Toulouse finished 1st with 86 points. These standings came down to this last week. Genuinely.
That's insane.
So Toulouse and Montpellier, they get a bye. As Miggy corrected me. They will get a bye onto the semis. The first quarterfinal matchup will be the 4th seed against the 5th seed. So Pau versus Racing 92. That will be played on June 13th. And now, going back on what I said about the game of last week and possibly the game of this week, Stade Francais and Stade Rochelet will have a rematch game in the quarters. On June 14th. As Stade Francais is the 3rd seed and Stade Rochelet is the 6th seed, they will play against each other in their quarterfinal matchups.
I think Stad's gonna win.
Stade is gonna win.
I
would guarantee it. I put money on it that Stade would win. I bet my life on it. And then they're gonna draw. So
what?
Quarterfinals will be played this weekend, and then we'll get our semifinals matchups next week. The United Rugby Championship, they played their semifinals this past weekend, June 6th. A very close and pretty competitive games. The Bulls beat the Warriors 22-21.
That still feels like a basketball game.
Bulls versus Warriors. Oh, absolutely. And then Leinster beats the Stormers 20-11.
Tight games, though.
The grand finals will be played on June 19th. That'll be Leinster versus the Vodacom Bulls. And so the United Rugby Championship will conclude in about a week and a half's time. Okay. They're playing on the 19th. They get this weekend off. Premiership Rugby. We have the last week of our regular season. All 5 games were played on June 6th. Bath beat the Tigers 24-22. This game didn't have too many implications. Bath were kind of set for the playoffs, and Tigers were set to finish middle of the pack. Sharks beat the Bears 38-17. Not a close game, but both teams were set to finish in the middle of the pack. They weren't going anywhere. Now, going into the games that actually meant something, Harlequins against Saints. Now, this game mattered because the Saints were at the top of the standings. They had kind of already guaranteed a spot, but the Harlequins were fighting to escape relegation. The Harlequins actually beat the Saints 38-31. So an upset victory, and this bolstered the Harlequins' chance to get out of the 9th seed. However, the 8th seed, Gloucester, they beat the Bulls 54-21 to secure the 8th seed away from the Harlequins and avoid relegation. Now, the Harlequins were going into this week with an uphill battle. They needed to beat the number 1 seeded team, and they needed the Newcastle Rebels, who were the 10th seeded team, to beat Gloucester, who were 8th seed. So the Harlequins did their due diligence, but Gloucester just they won a game that they were supposed to, and Harlequins will remain in relegation. The last game that had any implications was the Chiefs against the Saracens. Now, the Chiefs win this 32-12. And the reason this game had some implications was the Chiefs wanted to win this to secure the third seed away from the Tigers, who are sitting in fourth. And the Saracens were hoping to win this game convincingly enough that they could get the 4-point victory and a bonus point to contest the Tigers for that fourth seed. Now, with the Chiefs winning and the Leinster Tigers getting a bonus point from their game against Bath Rugby, Saracens will remain in fifth, and the Chiefs will take the third seed. So the semifinal matchups are as follows. June 12th will be the Saints against the Tigers. That is a first versus fourth seed matchup. And on June 13th will be Bath against Chiefs. That is the second versus third place matchup. In the final men's rugby league that we had this past week was the Japan Rugby League 1. They had their third place final and their grand final this past week. June 6th, the third place match was played against Tokyo Sun Goliath and Saitama Wild Knights. The Wild Knights win 26-19. And the championship was played on June 7th between the Kobelco Kobe Steelers and the Kubota Spears. The Steelers win this 22-13.
Stellar.
Now, moving on to women's rugby. We had the Premiership Women's Rugby League. They were also in their last week of the regular season. All four of their games were played on June 7th. The Chiefs beat the Sharks 50-24. Hartpury lost to the Bears 26-21. Lightning beat the Tigers 50-36. And the Saracens absolutely blow the rails off of the Trailfinders 80-14.
Oh, yeah.
Now, none of these games really had any playoff implications at all because the top four teams were set as of last week.
So 80-14.
80-14.
That's like me and you doing the same job. And I get paid $100 and you get paid 10.
Yes.
And they're just supposed to make sure you're happy with it.
And pretty much. That is a game to forget if I'm a Trailfinders player or fan, quite frankly. So the top four teams were already locked in last week. This last week of games did not need to be played. We could have just canceled the 4 games and gone straight into the playoffs.
Okay.
First place was Gloucester Hartpury. Second was the Saracens. Third was XCT Chiefs. And fourth was the Trailfinders Women's, who just got blown out by the Saracens, funny enough. So the semifinals matchups, both games will be played on the June 14th. It'll be Hartpury against Trailfinders and Saracens against Chiefs. The other women's rugby league that I have been covering the last couple weeks, the Women's Elite Rugby League. Now, as much as I would like to cover this, and I really, really want to, they have not been updating their scores in weeks. And I cannot find anywhere if these games have been played, if the game's finished, what the scores are, nothing. So, unfortunately, for the time being, we will be putting the Women's Elite Rugby League on standby until I can get some scores, more information, and whatnot. We're going to put them on the back burner just for the time being, which is sad to see. It's sad to say, but if we don't got scores, we don't really got a whole lot to talk about, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Now, you guys are almost free from the corner. I have one more little bit of rugby to share with you, and it's the HSBC Sevens World Championship. They had their third and final round of games this past weekend, and here are the final results. On the men's side, France got first, New Zealand got second, and Spain got third. South Africa, they finished in fourth, and then we're just going to skip over the rest. Those are kind of the big ones. On the women's side, Australia gets first, New Zealand gets second, Canada comes away with a third place victory in the round 3, and USA finishes in fourth.
I'm just happy we finished on top of US.
We beat the US in round 3. Now, this was round 3 of 3. The Sevens Championship is over. And here are the final results for both sides. On the men's side, South Africa, they've been in first place since the first round. They are here at the end in first place. New Zealand, they finished second. They were actually in 6th last week. So they had a big round 3. Spain finishes in third. They were in fifth last week. Australia finishes in fourth. They were in third last week. Argentina finishes in fifth. They were second last week. And then Fiji finishes in sixth. They were fourth last week. So we had a bit of movement in the top six, but South Africa remains at one. France finishes in seventh. USA finishes in eighth. Kenya in ninth. Great Britain in 10th. Germany in 11th. And Uruguay in 12th. Now on the women's side, Australia finishes in first. They were first last week. New Zealand finishes in second. They were second last week. Canada finishes the championship in third after being in fifth last week. USA finishes in fourth. They had been in third last week. France, who finishes in fifth, happened to be fourth last week. And Japan finishes in sixth. And to round off the standings, Fiji in seventh, Spain in eighth, Brazil in ninth, Argentina in 10th, Great Britain in 11th, and South Africa in 12th. So proud of our Canadian women.
Hell yeah.
It's not that I tend to forget, but I tend to forget to mention sometimes, but we have quite a strong women's rugby program brewing here in Canada, and I'm excited.
Yep.
Like the Canadian women are some stellar rugby players, and they are showing out on the international stage. That does it for my corner. I will give you guys the freedom to leave. If you'd like to stay in the corner with me and my rugby, that is also welcome. However, for the purposes of this recording, this podcast, I think we are going to move to four wheels.
Yep. 4 wheels and 2, bud. So, the Monaco Grand Prix happened last weekend, and there was a lot. I couldn't watch it, but I did watch
some of the highlights.
Some of the highlights, just to get a better understanding to why there was a lot of yip and yapping about it. So I'm going to talk about the placements first. So Anatoly wins his 5th race in a row with being in first with 2 hours, 23 minutes, 31 seconds at .243. Hamilton would come in second with a difference of 6.2 seconds. Hajar would come in at third with 23.4 seconds. Piastri in fourth with 24.3 seconds. And Lawson in fifth with plus 26.6 seconds. Now, 15 of 22 racers did not finish this race.
Sorry, 15 of 22?
Yeah.
So nearly 3/4 of the field didn't finish the race.
Max Verstappen's car failed at the start.
Okay.
It went to start, and then it was slowly going, and the lights were flashing. Mechanical issue. He was out of the race.
Okay.
Stroll hit a barrier in lap 60 after some of the what is it called?
The gravel?
Yes, the gravel. Sorry, only had it in French. Kind of didn't help him with the turn. On lap 65, Charles Leclerc went from the podium to the wall due to a mechanical issue with his car that caused him to have issues with his brakes. And then lap 71, Carlos Sainz got hit twice in the same 5 seconds.
Jeez.
He got one turn, he got hit, had damage. His crew told him to slowly come over. And he went to turn around, and then he got hit so hard that his car turned around fully. And this was like an S-shaped turn. He got hit on one, hit on the other.
That is
needless to say, he was not happy.
I don't blame him.
Now, there was some penalties. So there was a drive-through penalty for Russell, and there was also a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane for Hamilton. But Hamilton has been known to take a couple of those every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
But that is kind of the recap of it. But the big recap for me is, how do you get hit twice? Like, it's not your fault, obviously.
The amount of, cracks that you got to step on and ladders that you got to walk under to be that unlucky.
Yeah. So I would understand for him and he was saying in his radio, and you can hear him, it's like, look, they had all the chances in the world to not hit me on the second time.
Mhm.
Like he was calling people stupid. Like
Yeah.
to a point, like you gotta control yourself, but like emotions play a big factor.
There are times where I laugh at some of these drivers for throwing a fit. I give him a pass on this one.
Yeah.
You know what? Throw your fit, get it out like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
The next race is the Barcelona Catalonia Grand Prix. That is Sunday, June 14th. It starts at 7 a.m. our time. I will not be watching that. I will be asleep.
Did we go over the placements for the Monaco GP?
Yeah, we did. It was Anatoly in first, Hamilton in second, Hajar in third, Piastri in fourth, and Lawson in fifth.
Anatoly with another podium.
That's the fifth one in a row, catching up to Hamilton.
No kidding.
Now NASCAR, 2 races happened. So the DQ Solution and Staffing 250 was on Saturday, June 6th. And those, for the people who didn't know, are the basically racer pickups, the pickups of NASCAR.
Pickup trucks.
Yeah, they look.
Are they even trucks?
Yeah, they're trucks. Like you can see the pickup shape, but they're very low.
they're very low. They sort of fast.
Like I don't know if I can shove my toe under it, but here we are. Anyways, in first place was Heim. Second place was Honeycutt. That's a dope name.
What name?
Yeah.
Damn.
Third place was Hocevar. Fourth place was Riggs, and fifth place was Smith. Now,
I mean, if you got a name like Riggs, I think you have to be a racer. Honestly, that's
So in lap 7, there has some minor contact between 3 cars. All 3 cars recovered pretty quickly, though. Bell won the first and second stage, but as you can see in the top 5, he did not actually win the race.
There, yeah.
Lap 73 had a car that had some automotive issues that pulled the yellow flag. Lap 75, Frazen tire went flat and he kind of went on the sidelines. Lap 88, Majeski spins out and hits right rear white to the wall. And when I say spins out, like full 360, holy, and hit the right rear right on the wall, but didn't move much. Lap 90, slight contact in the pit lane while he was moving, just slight bump.
Yeah.
No one was hurt. Lap 94, though, Butcher crashed right into Boyle. They just missed slight in calculation, but after that, like they made sure everyone was all right, no one was hurt.
Yeah.
Heim did take the lead for the first time in lap 199. There is 125 laps, by the way. So in 111 is when he took the lead.
So not 99. 111?
111.
111. Okay.
I feel like I said it wrong.
You said 99.
Oh no, 111. Sorry. And then Heim and Honeycutt had a battle for the first in the last lap. And when I mean battle, I mean like, you know that Lightning McQueen with Dynaco and Chuck?
We nose to tongue.
Yeah. So that happened. And then Sunday was the actual cars, which Hamlin was in first, Jones in second, Wallace Jr. in third, Larson in fourth, and Hocevar in fifth.
Oh, was Hocevar racing both?
Yeah, a lot of people raced in both. Riggs raced in this one. Hamlin raced in the other one too. Jones as well. Some are just better with the car. Some are better. And then on top of that, you have the crashes and everything.
Yeah, so. That's right.
So Connor Zilic. Car spun up twice. After the second time, his crew was like, "You're done.
Yeah,
there's got to be some damage." I don't know how to say his name, so I only wrote his abbreviation that the announcer used. RDF back left tire failed, but he did avoid the wall. So he got hit, and then I think it loosened a little bit on the nuts, and then he almost hit the wall but avoided it.
Mm.
Gibbs collided into Priest in the pit stop lane, which a lot of people are like, well, it's Gibbs' fault. People are pointing the blame. A lot of people are saying it's preach because you should have the right of lane to whoever's leaving their pit
Mhm.
area. But to those who have opinions, right front and rear tires of Allmendinger became flat during the race, so he had to get pulled out and change their tires. And yes, Chris gave me the weirdest face when I said that because the name of the guy is Allmendinger, and we are immature.
Oh man, I'll use Jay's phrase here just this once. It is after hours. I I will not say anything bad, but if I hear something and something else, I will snicker.
And a snicker it was. Now there was a big car crash in lap 83 that was involved with multiple cars. If I am correct, it was like 8 cars.
Eee.
Big name like Riddick was involved in it. He was part of the top for a while, but with this crash, it kind of took him out of it.
Yeah.
Car did get hit during a pass, and the wheels got damaged. So again, like RDF, one of the wheels just, but this guy didn't really get to avoid the wall, so a little bit more death.
Eesh.
Hocevar did save himself in lap 100 from spinning out. It was some almost Lightning McQueen stuff, but we save.
We say
In lap 117, had a tight battle for second, but we also had a tightly contested battle for 9th place.
that's not a sentence you often hear. We had a tight battle for ninth.
Like it was the battles for the two positions like look oddly familiar. Like for second place, you're like, oh man, but like for ninth and I think it was ninth and 10, like they were like,
Well, yeah, I mean,
no, you move, I move, no, you move. I'm
well,
gonna take it.
I could be very wrong. I'm not sure how the points are distributed, but right, like at least the top 10 racers get points towards
Yeah.
the end of your championship. So
The more points you want, the higher.
yeah, yeah. So I'm not surprised that they'd be fighting for ninth because that is there's the point difference, but it's just funny hearing that.
Yeah. And then in lap 130, Zane Smith scraped the walls, which caused a few sparks, but didn't think too much of it until he spun out and then crashed into the wall
Ooh.
to fully take himself out of the race. Now, Elliott hits Bell into the wall, and when I mean hits Bell, I mean like hits, like they bounced off the wall.
Like car body checks.
Oh, yeah, like buffing body check.
Ran him over.
Yeah, in lap 148, both did not finish. Both cars got totaled.
To be
But
expected.
Elliott, during an interview right after, took the blame. He was like, I misread the situation. I thought I was going for an overtake, and I turned too quickly and caused the crash.
A self-aware race car driver?
Apparently so.
They
And
exist?
he made sure to go walk to Bell and make sure that Bell was more than okay, and you can see there was more than enough sportsmanship between the two. It'd be like, look, you know you did wrong. I'm okay. You're okay. We are fine.
I didn't know that existed.
Another
Props
car.
to Elliott.
Yeah,
I don't know who he is. He's my favorite driver now.
yeah. Another crash happened in lap 154, including once again multiple cars. What started this crash, and I didn't have time. I'm not gonna lie. I am true to staying honest with you guys. I didn't have time to look into who run these cars. So 71 made contact with 49's rear bumper, which caused 47, sorry, not 49. I saw that look and was like, I said something wrong again. 47's rear bumper, which caused 47 kind of wiggle a little, which then he spun off, resulting into the crash that caused multiple people. And I think that was another 5 to 6 cars.
A lot of action in this Firekeepers 400.
Yeah. So I think out of 37 cars, there was 20 that made it through.
Mm-hmm.
Which honestly makes sense with when you start piling up all these
Yeah,
crashes.
I mean the amount of crashes, like the multi-car crashes and just incidents.
Yeah. So now we go to a shorter race. The winner raced for 42 minutes, 55 seconds, and 325 nanoseconds. Like, I don't know what else to say. The
Three-
Hungarian Grand Prix for MotoGP.
Yeah, 325 thousandths of a second.
Uh,
Shorter race, fewer tires.
yeah, it was a tight battle between first for the two Spanish riders. So Marquis, as I said, 42 minutes, 55 seconds, and 325 milliseconds.
There you go. Is it? Yeah.
It's either milliseconds or nanoseconds at this rate. I think it's milliseconds. Anyways,
42 minutes, 55 seconds, 0.3.
yeah. And then Acosta was only 1.3 seconds behind. After that, it goes downhill.
Yeah, after that, it's 11.6, 15.5.
Yeah, Bagnia at 11.6. Ogura, Japanese rider, at 15.6
15.5.
or 15.5. Yeah, and then Morini at 18.7, which is funny because it goes Spain, Spain, Italy, Japanese, Italy.
I feel like there's I feel like there's something here, but I don't know where
Now,
we all see it.
Yeah, the only big thing that I was able to find for this Grand Prix is one, Spain collected 45 points in the podium, with Marquez getting 25 and Acosta getting 20, which is going to help them in their standings. But there was a motorcycle crash to start.
Oh, jeez.
So the first turn,
it
was adios.
The first turn on these races is
Like,
always so dangerous.
You know when you're playing Mario Kart and you throw a banana in the back? That's basically what it looked like.
The one guy gets in front, throws a banana, and goes, "Whatever happens is not my problem."
Yeah. So that's all I have for MotoGP stat-wise. Now, I did, during our break that we take between episodes, find what is the difference between F1, F2, and F3.
See, I don't know this, so this is going to be educational even for me.
I don't think even Jay knows this. So, there are slides here. There's 3 slides. So I'm just going to go slide 1, F1, F2, F3. Slide 2, F1, F2, F3, because I'm not going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Oh, goodness.
So, weight and dimensions. F1. The height of the car is 2,000 millimeters.
Okay.
The length of the car is 5.5 thousand millimeters. The weight is 768 kilograms. F2. The height is 1.9 thousand.
Okay.
And the width is 5,285.
The width or the length?
The length, is 5,285 millimeter, and the weight is 795 kilograms. So a little heavier.
Heavier, but a little shorter.
Yeah.
A little shorter.
F3, 1,885 millimeter in height.
Okay, so shorter again.
In length, 4,965.
Quite a bit shorter on that scale.
In weight, 673 kilograms.
Wow.
So from F1 to F3, you have about 100 difference, but from F2 to F3, you have about 120 kilogram difference. Now, speed. The F1 has a 1.6 liter V6 turbo hybrid, power units from dedicated manufacturers, right?
Yep.
Can reach speeds of 220 miles per hour. Now, F2 has a 3.4 liter 6-cylinder that can reach to 209 miles per hour.
Okay.
So not big difference, but
No,
big enough.
Close.
3.4 cylinder, a 6-cylinder for F3. Naturally aspirated engines from Mechrome, no turbocharge. So they can only reach 186 miles per hour.
Okay.
Now, the tires, there's not much of a difference. F1 and F2 both have 18-inch rims, and F3 has 16-inch rims. Those are the big differences from F1, F2, and F3.
Yep. Sizing down the cars.
Yep. So, other than that, I don't have much unless you got a discussion topic.
Nah, I ain't got a discussion
What have you
topic.
talked about up until now, boys?
And our resident Jay, who we had said wasn't going to be here for the recording, has apparently decided to make a quite literal last-second appearance. But again, to conclude our episode, the wheels have spun. Jay's back.
And
Briefly.
it is sad that fucking Red Bull just didn't show up.
Yeah, well, they didn't show up. Everybody else got to show up. So, but that does it for week 23. And I think we are going to hit stop on the recording, and we'll see you guys next week.